Of all the places in the Caribbean where you could get residency or just pitch a tent and spend some time, there's one island in particular that stands out, and it's not the one that I'm on right now. Most people know that the Dominican Republic is a super beautiful place. In fact, when Christopher Columbus first landed there on 5 December 1492, he said that it was the most beautiful place human eyes had ever seen, or words to that effect. And having been to the DR in the last year, I could say that of all the places I've seen in the Caribbean, it's stunning. And it's not just the beaches, which is what people think of. Most of the DR is beautiful beach, rolling hills, and mountain peaks. They actually have a peak on the island of Hispaniola that is over 10,000 feet high. They get snow. They're the only place in the Caribbean that gets snow. Most people also aren't aware that they have one of the most generous residency programs, which I'm going to tell you about in a second.
The truth is, giving yourself an international lifestyle just isn't that tough, and it makes more sense now than ever before. International diversification is freedom insurance. If you want to know how I've done it for my family and how you can do it for yours for a lot less than you think, please subscribe, like, comment, and share with folks you care about.
I spent time in Punta Cana late last year, absolutely stunning. I was surprised that end of the island is completely flat, just above sea level. The beach there, of course, is legendary. It's called Bávaro Beach, and any imaginable activity is available there, from parasailing to boat rentals to scuba to snorkeling, offshore dolphin viewing area where they have just a floating cage where the dolphins get to swim around and people come out and pet them and swim with them. But it's a stunning, stunning area. It really is the jewel of the Caribbean. Hispaniola has about 185 miles of coastline, so there's beaches aplenty, and some of them are just staggeringly beautiful. Hispaniola also is very unique in the Caribbean. There's a peak that's over 10,000 feet high, which means they get snow on the island, and it does also seem to affect some of the weather there. It's typically cooler. The average annual temperature is something like 77 degrees, which is amazing because where I am in Puerto Rico, I mean, it's insufferable. It's about 100 degrees with 100% humidity for like 5 months out of the year. So the DR has a lot going for it, but what most people don't know about the Dominican Republic is they have one of the most generous residency programs in existence. Now, like almost all countries, you can get a retiree or pensionado track to residency. The retiree visa, the pensionado visa, allows you to skip right over temporary residency. All you have to do is provide proof of $1,500 a month income, add $250 per dependent. That's very cheap. Most people can show income of $1,500 a month. Now, this has to be retirement income, a federal pension, some kind of government pension, some kind of private pension, but it has to be retirement money that's coming in. Could be from a company that you founded that is paying you retirement income. That's all fine. $1,500 plus $250 per dependent. The rentista track to residency is a little more stringent. You have to provide proof of $2,000 per month, but you have to show that going back all the way 5 years. So 5 years of bank statements showing that you made at least $2,000 per month every single month. Add $250 per dependent, and that will get you residency permit for yourself or any number of dependents in your family as well. And your rentista income has to be non-DR income, so it can't be from anything that's sourced on the island. The other way to get residency via investment is to invest $200,000. Now, this could be a company that you set up, in which case you're going to have all kinds of reporting requirements. You're going to need to hire a CPA. There's going to be fees and taxes on top of that. So you start to get into what to me sounds like a lot of headaches, but you could put that money in there and then immediately after you get your residency, invest in real estate or some other activity. You can invest in a company if you want, or you can just leave the money in a bank. I wouldn't recommend it. Dominican banks obviously are not robust. There was a scandal in the recent decades where a lot of fake passports were issued by corrupt government people, and these passports did not really allow people to naturalize. People who got these fake passports weren't given naturalization certificates, and so these passports have been floating around, and now the government's trying to do away with this so that when people come in to renew them, they're not allowed to renew, and that's how they're taking them out of circulation. But it's why the Dominican Republic has a very, very poor quality travel document. If you decide to naturalize, it's going to take you roughly 5 years with all the bureaucracy and red tape and all the rest, so that even if you end up with a Dominican Republic passport, trying to travel on this document is not going to get you visa-free travel to many countries. Next to Cuba, it's the worst travel document you can have in the Caribbean. So it's not a particularly good travel document, but your permanent residency card does allow you to come and go from Dominican Republic. There is no physical presence requirement, so that you don't even have to be there, except that you do need to go there to renew your residency permit. The first one that that you get will have to renew in 1 year, and then after that you can renew it every 2 years. So you would have to spend very, very little time on the ground. There's no other physical presence requirement except that you go there to renew your card. Altogether, Dominican Republic is a fantastic location. I really enjoyed myself there. There's a whole vibe of good times, and it's a prosperous place. They've grown at roughly 5% compound annual growth rate for the last decade, ending the 2010 to 2020. That's pretty impressive. In the Caribbean, that makes it a real economic juggernaut. 25% of the Dominican Republic part of the island is national park. That's tremendous because they're protecting just a beautiful jewel of an island. The place is absolutely stunning. Overall, it is very inexpensive to live in Dominican Republic. You can get live-in domestic help, so like a live-in maid or some kind of groundskeeper or a guardian of some sort to look after your property for roughly $200 a month. Where I am here in Puerto Rico, you can't get that kind of help no matter how much money you got and no matter how much you pay. I'm only half joking with that, by the way, but that is very, very cheap. Obviously, you could live quite well. If you could afford that kind of help, you could have all kinds of extra help around your household running things. And so Canadians and US citizens in particular who have discovered Dominican Republic very often tell stories of high living because they figured out how to set themselves up in Dominican Republic. The government is not all up in your business. There's not all kinds of audits and inspections and taxes and this and that. They basically leave you alone if you move there. So I'm a fan of it. It's definitely worth checking out. If you look at the direction the world is headed, why not add this to your portfolio, get to work on a permanent residency, and if you did have to end up going there and you did spend time there, it's a really pleasant place to be stuck for a little while. Right now, you can join the X-Plan community for just $1. Click below to get all the details. Instead of passively obeying the lunatic decisions by cognitively impaired political hacks, we're building a future where international diversification ensures our freedom and prosperity. You'll get easy access to resources and contacts to help you structure your own international lifestyle, including how you protect your money outside the US banking system, how to quickly get legal documents that allow you and your family to enter a friendly, welcoming, peaceful jurisdiction when trouble hits North America, where to invest in top-tier income-producing real estate, and much more. If you decide you want the convenience of private consulting, we offer that option too, but at a tiny fraction of what other so-called experts are charging. So you don't have to break the bank trying to protect your family and preserve your wealth in the chaos of the 2020s. Click below to get all the details and join the X-Plan community for just $1, and I'll see you on the inside. Remember, your freedom begins when you realize nobody's coming to save you. I'll be back with more great stuff. Thanks.